Sometimes a small idea can change the entire world. In this video, we are going to speak about such an idea which changed the definition of modern transportation. In this fast moving world, time is more precious. So everyone wants to save their time in all aspects. Majorly, people want to save their time in traveling. So, lot of revolution happened in mode of transportation. Like long ago, people used to travel by walk. Then animals were used as mode of transport, but still their journey was long and tired. And then we came across lot of innovation and developments in transportation, which we are using today. So there are four modes of transportation: road, rail, water, and air. In this video, we will explore about new mode of transport, which will be faster than other transport modes. This is called Hyperloop. So let's begin. What is Hyperloop? Hyperloop is new form of ground transport. A name Hyperloop was chosen because it would go in continuous loop. In Hyperloop, passenger will travel around 700 miles per hour or 1200 kilometers per hour in floating pod inside giant low pressure tubes, either above or below ground. For any kind of transportation, there are two kinds of interruption: air drag or air resistance and friction. What is air drag? While we are in a car, we all observed if we kept our hand outside, hand will go back with the airflow. This is because of air drag or air resistance. Now, what is friction? Vehicle which is having contact with the road or rail will have friction on the wheels. Because of these problems, the traditional vehicle speed will be reduced and consumes more energy. But Hyperloop is designed in the way to overcome these problems and achieve maximum speed. Now we will discuss about Hyperloop design. The basic idea of Hyperloop is that the passenger pods or capsule travel through the steel tube either above or below the ground. As shown in this picture, these pods or capsules are kept inside this steel tube. Here we will explore basic concept behind Hyperloop working. First is magnetic leviation. Every magnet has two sides, north pole and a south pole. When south pole and north pole are facing each other, it will attract, and in other case, if same poles north north or south south are facing each other, then it will repel. So the same magnetic concept used in Hyperloop. Both pod and tube should have same magnetic poles. For example, if inner part of tube is made up of north pole, then the pod bottom also should be made up of north pole, so that they will repel and pod will be lifted about 0.5 to 1.3 mm. Therefore, there won't be no contact between pod and tube, which is resulted in zero friction. Because of no friction, if someone pushed a pod inside tube, it can easily move forward. In normal case, we can't even push the empty vehicle because of friction, but in Hyperloop, we can easily push the vehicle even it's loaded with passenger. So, with the help of maglev or magnetic leviation property, friction problem will be solved in Hyperloop. Here, linear motor is the part of magnetic leviation. Here we need an electric motor which is broken into two basic components: the rotor which rotates and stator which is stationary. The stator and rotor are an electromagnet, so when an electric current passes through it, both will repel because of magnetic leviation principle as already mentioned. Unlike a normal electric motor, the Hyperloop motor isn't circular. It is a linear, which helps to propel rotor linearly over the stator. Next basic concept is vacuum tubes. Vacuum pumps are used in Hyperloop to reduce air resistance or air drag problem. These vacuum pumps used to suck all air in tubes and create vacuum as there no air inside the tube. So there won't be air resistance in Hyperloop. But one important thing, there will be sufficient air pressure inside the pod for passengers. These vacuum pumps are located every 10 km and which sucks around 90% of air from the tubes. Why vacuum pump sucks around 90% of air from tube? Whenever we want to stop the vehicle, then remaining 10% air will be used. As pods are not having any specific brakes, this air will work as braking system. So as you see in this image, there will be two compressors are used in Hyperloop for braking purpose. These compressors are located at front and rear sides of a pod. In normal scenario, front air compressor actively transfers high pressure air from front to the rear of the pod. So here 10% of air resistance also reduced. And in case of braking, the compressor will work in reverse manner. That means rear compressor will transfer the air to the front compressor and helps to stop the vehicle using air resistance. Now we will see what is actually inside the pod. Inside pod, there will be around 28 seats available with the seat belt for passenger safety. Along with this, a small display will be there near to every passenger seat which will give speed and location information. Maybe charging sockets also provided for every passenger seat. And one common display will be there for entertainment purpose. Now, you may think whether Hyperloop is possible. Yes, it is possible. Virgin Hyperloop successfully tested human travel in Hyperloop pod for the first time. These two people only traveled Hyperloop for the first time. Virgin Hyperloop achieved 170 km per hour in 6 seconds. The vehicle pod which was used is XB2 which fits only 2 persons. But commercial pods are designed for 28 people seats. One exciting news that Indian government also proposing Hyperloop routes in India. India's first Hyperloop project is planned between Mumbai and Pune, which will take only 25 minutes to cover around 150 km. But it is point to point transportation, so we can't get down at Lonavala. The company said it has held a discussion with Indian government and expects approval and certification by 2025. And in India, first passenger operation may be early 2030. So now question is who introduced us with Hyperloop technology? In which person's mind this great idea came? This idea arises about 200 years back. Got shocked? But this is true. In 1799, British inventor George Medrust proposed an idea to move goods through the cast iron pipes using air propulsion tubes. Later, Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, first publicly mentioned in 2012 that he was thinking about a concept for a fifth mode of transport, calling it as Hyperloop. The Hyperloop concept has been explicitly open sourced by Elon Musk, and others have been encouraged to take the idea and further develop them. Now, what are the key benefits of Hyperloop? The Hyperloop system will be immune to weather as it runs inside the tube. This system is safer than aeroplane. The pillar was designed in a way to earthquake resistance. Hyperloop is faster than train or car travel. Maximum speed can be achieved is 1200 km per hour, which is the speed of sound. The Hyperloop is designed in the way to use solar energy for its operation. Green technology involved in Hyperloop powering less cars on the road, which result in less energy requirement and less air pollution. Hyperloop is super fast technology, which will give 760 mile per hour or 1200 kilometers per hour speed, so we can reduce the travel time from hours to minutes. But in this system, there are few drawbacks. Like it requires more investment for Hyperloop initial setup because we need to install the tubes for the proposed routes of travel. And as you can see, tubes are straight, so turning will be more critical. But we can say Hyperloop is an exciting and fastest way of transportation. I'm eagerly waiting to travel in a Hyperloop. Hope you like the information about Hyperloop. We'll meet again in next video. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.